speeding up meditation progress. So, I mean, mindfulness is something very popular, and I keep talking about, various protocols that I utilize to speed up meditation progress. And I believe I found a way to speed it up by up to 1 billion times, by my theoretical calculations. And I'm going to discuss that in this video today. So for those of you who like the contents of my videos, please don't forget to press like and also subscribe if you haven't already. This is going to greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And if you could drop a comment, I would love to hear from you. And if you happen to share this with your social media, your favorite social media, I you don't know how much I would appreciate and thank you from the bottom of my heart. So those of you who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I am a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, and having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching it now for 46 years. In that period, I've had the good fortune to be able to study under various masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the Far East, the Middle East, the West, including these scientific communities. I designed and created my own unique protocols, and that's what the video is today, about fast forwarding your meditation progress by up to 1 billion times, right? And basically making things faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented, right? To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. My favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, um, yogawellness786.com. Please also remember my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, boosting meditation progress 1 billion times, is that really not an unrealistic and exaggerated amount? So, I'm going to do the calculations for you, and I promise you, I base this on very sound theoretical information from masters under which who are very accomplished. Some are very famous and world renowned, and others are very, very accomplished but may not be so well known, right? But I had the good fortune to be able to meet them and learn under them, right? So basically, everyone knows the benefit of, or ought to know the benefit of mindfulness practice or meditation practice. There are now over 50,000 scientific papers proving its benefit, to your health and to your psychology, right? And so this is a given, right? That you should adopt some form of practice, but do it more time efficiently. And of course, I'm biased. I would say go to my website and download the 5-minute yoga and meditation program. I believe this is mind blowing. Who you can try to find 5 minutes and grow on it. The method that I'm using there, it's not something I just designed for a fancy video. A lot of thought went into it, and decades of work and practice and seeing what works and what doesn't work across students from over 100 countries, right, that I've had over the last almost 5 decades of practicing this art form, teaching for 46 years. So my passion was always that meditation takes so long to progress. It is not uncommon to find people meditating for over 5 decades, and the only progress they made is they feel calmer and together. eh? So, yes, that is an amazing thing when you don't have it, and that can really transform your life just by being in an alpha state. But I mean, this guy who's got over 50 years experience, he does this 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. Every day he's doing this for over 5 decades. And is that type of sacrifice and the result is getting, is it worth it? Maybe in a subtle way, poetic way, romantic way, in a literary way maybe, but for the rest of us who are regular people, right? Of course, I can't call myself a regular person anymore, but I identify with regular people and I understand how regular, because all my students are regular people, right? Or are they? But anyway, I'm coming across regular people all the time. I know what is regular people. They want to see, for that type of sacrifice, bang, I want to see something more substantial, right? So the reason that this is the case is because progress is, you don't know what kind of animal you are dealing with. You are just thinking meditation is like a online game like Call of Duty. You can become good at it, or like playing chess and so forth. You get some so just to give you a broad idea from what I've learned, the theory, right, from some amazing masters, right? And they say that you need to remove the impressions in the mind, or the memories that are in your subconscious mind that are equivalent to 10 million years. So, of course, who's 10 million years old, from where 10 million? This is including your genetic memory and your evolutionary memory, because you are evolved to the state, right? You're part of the planet, part of the. So there is evolutionary memory inside you, and there is also genetic memory inside you. These memories. So with the study of epigenetics, right? It's now established science that there's so much of memory can be imprinted in you, right? So 10 million. So you spending an hour a day. So if you don't meditate, for example, right? What's going to happen? Every year you're going to get rid of about 1 year's worth of the backdrop, memory that's in your subconscious mind. And that's why they came about the theory of reincarnation, that to justify and substantiate this 10 million years, that you need multiple, maybe thousands of births. And when you are seeking things like meditation, you want to fast forward the progress from the snail play, because if you don't, you're still going to progress. So in 50 years you'll get rid of 50 years of memory, right? On average, you create some new ones and you get rid of a lot of the old ones, and you have experiences in life that's going to evolve you forward, and you're going to keep evolving forward. So to fast forward the evolution process is where yoga comes to. And the tool that people commonly use and has become very popular these days is mindfulness meditation, or other forms of meditation, but mindfulness practice is what has been scientifically researched the most, right? So using that as a foundation, if you're doing so, maybe you're going to fast forward it by another year or 2 years or 3 years, by a small factor, you're going to fast forward your progress. um, Not enough to get rid of 10 million years. You're not even going to be making any major chip on the block, right? Because there's so much to get rid of. So I learned about this in my childhood, and when I practiced it and I see nothing happening, then I feel this is something I need to find a way that's going to be more efficient. And I've dedicated the last 50 years of my life finding multiple ways to this thing, right? So I found that the practice of Hatha Yoga, the postures, helps in balancing, and it's a very important and foundational tool. And I learned about this when I was studying energy healing in China, right? Because of course, they're not doing Hatha Yoga, they're doing Tai Chi. That there was an Indian yogi that came from the mountain regions and found all these Buddhist monks about 1,500 years ago, all meditating only. And then he says, this is not good because your energy is going to be stuck in pockets. You need to balance the energies, and you have to move your body. And he taught them to mimic the poses of animals like the monkey, the eagle, the tiger, and so forth. So, uh, just like how in India they learn the locust posture, the cobra posture, the plow posture, the bridge posture, mimicking implements and things that they could see, shaping the body that way. So Hatha Yoga, I had to see which was better for me, balancing my energy. I had a choice between Hatha Yoga and Tai Chi, and I found Hatha Yoga better. Tai Chi is simpler because it combines movement together with breath work in the movement. Very powerful, right? That you're doing two things at the same time and you're doing it outdoors in nature. It really has an amazing boosting effect. And it doesn't look so weird, and you don't feel like you are twisting your body, into a noodle. And it is, more, I think, approachable by the regular people, right? People are not afraid to consider Tai Chi. Mind blowing. It'll improve your balance of your energy and increase your dormant energy force and your inner energy, and improve health manifold, right? Your energy levels, and you will see a marked difference in a very short space of time. Within 6 to 8 weeks, of daily practice of the simple thing, you learn the moves, basically about 21 moves or so, and you practice together in the open and learn this thing. It's a tool that's indispensable, right? So Hatha Yoga dramatically improves. And I didn't really, because in childhood I didn't really practice other things, so I practiced that. The Hatha Yoga, it was more interesting and exciting. I did do a bit of meditation and pranayama and mudras and bandhas and the knowledge, and this and the kriyas, and there's so many things to practice. I tried everything because I learned various aspects of yoga. I learned it comprehensively from formally from the age of 10. I started to study it very deeply. So but I found hatha yoga amazing, and I had a very natural an amazing Kundalini awakening that was totally, it was not harmful in any way. I didn't have any psychosis. Yes, it's flawed me, but I didn't have any negative, result from it. I never get sick or go into, psychological problems and all that, because my preparation was amazing. I'd already been practicing yoga now for about 10 years, when by the age of 19, I had my first Samadhi experience. And it just came suddenly, bang, when I just decided to try. Someone asked me to try some mantra, and I just tried, and it started to work the first day. I started to feel the tingling, that in my heart region, and something magical happening, and it just started to build within a 2 month period. I experienced my first samadhi. So hatha yoga is very, don't discount it as something, I mean, I've got a 5 minute yoga and meditation program, right? So you can include that, including your meditation, just 5 minutes, and you can do it in the comfort of your bed, right? This is going to amazingly fast forward, right? I'm not counting this as a factor in my 1 billion, right? Then there is this kriya of yogananda. There's a book called Autobiography of a Yogi, I think it was written in the 1960s by a person by the name of Paramahamsa Yogananda. I think he died in the 60s or so, and very famous for his kriya, disseminating the kriya. Kriya is like a spiritual exercise that helps to raise and drop your life force energy, the pranic energy, and developing it. And I call it the Kundalini energy because the Kundalini energy is in increments. It does not slap bang that high 100% level. And that's not even 100%, that very amazing high level that the body, gets flawed with, is just a taste. It's much higher than that. It's the energy of the entire universe. But we learn how to manually, raise it in increments and develop it over time. And this can evolve you 36,000 times fast forward your meditation progress. Now you need a big number because you got like 10 million years to get rid of, right? So 36,000 times, according to his calculations, they say naturally you going to evolve by 1 year every year, right? But when you do you do it in breaths. For every breath you do a push, right? So for every breath you evolve yourself. He says like 1 year in one breath, right? So you calculate 365 years, right? 365 days, sorry, and you calculate that by the years and so forth. I'm not very clear with the actual calculation, and then you multiply it by a factor of 24 because you must do 24 rounds by his recommendation, right? But I normally found that the sweet spot where you get amazing, significant benefit noticeable is doing 100 rounds, right? It takes about 2 hours to do 100 rounds, but it's amazing the progress you make, right? Especially when using it for self healing. I've removed over 30 illnesses in my body through that method. Doing 100 rounds a day. I didn't even know I had so many illnesses. I just wanted to do it like because I was suffering with neuropathy to to get my sensations back in my fingertip. And of course, I've got it not 100%, but about 90, over 90% back. I received because it's a natural method. It's not this thing, right? And the best progress is doing 100 rounds, and especially when I'm dealing with uh, terminal illnesses, critical care recovery, I do 100 rounds. So this is already 36 times faster, right, than a regular meditation. It turbo boosts your meditation by 36,000 times, right? Then we get the pranayama practice, the alternative. The one that I use is the one from the ancient book called the Tirumandaram. It's over 2,000 years old, estimated, by a person who I studied his works. He's very advanced, in spirituality, and he was giving these revelations, and the people were just recording it. So his method, 1664, the box breathing method, you can research what is it's alternative nostril breathing with retention, and you need to develop it level by level, right? But if you, according to one of my great pranayama teacher, he specialized in pranayama. I didn't meet anyone or know of anyone, even to this day, someone greater in knowledge about pranayama than him and practicing it as well, right? He said 30 minutes a day is the minimum that you should do, which is what I'm doing, right? But if you do an hour a day, you're going to get far more amazing results. And 2 hours a day, super amazing. And the peak of all the magical powers and everything that you can get is if you do 3 hours a day as a minimum, right? So he recommended, people want the maximum power, right? And you will not attain the maximum power if you do 2 hours. You'll get high power, very high power, but not maximum. And if you do 1 hour a day, you'll get high power. And if you do 30 minutes a day, you'll get some power, right? You will start making progress. So because of time constraints, to do 2 hours of the kriya of Yogananda and 3 hours of pranayama, I normally play around with it and try to adjust it because it's more or less giving me a lot of progress, right? So what he is the one who came the formula that there's 10 million years. So if you do 3 hours a day on average in 10 years, you can get rid of 10 million years, right? So what does that factor mean? In 10 years, you can get rid of 10 million years, means it's a factor of 1 million, isn't it? 1 million, because 10 times 1 million is 10 million. In 10 years, you got rid of 10 million years worth of things. So that's a factor of 1 million if you follow his method, right? Some of you want to do the maximum, right? You don't necessarily have to go, that high. I myself don't have time for all that, right? To do 3 hours and 2 hours and meditation and, mantra. So I found, so that's a million times 36,000. What is that? 36,000 times a million is 36 billion, right? Okay. Because 36,000 million, 1,000 million is a billion, right? 36 billion times, right? You're increasing the speed of progress by adding pranayama. So everyone talks about the kriya of Yogananda, but no one talks about the pranayama because they don't know the method that we're going to make it 1 million x. right? And you just make it part of your daily meditation program. And to do the pranayama immediately after the hatha yoga, a big difference. It makes boost the pranayama progress significantly and noticeably, right? So if you do hatha yoga and do pranayama, and if you don't do hatha yoga and do pranayama, you'll notice the difference, right? So the hatha yoga comes there now. This is already 36 billion. I said I can improve it by 1 billion, already 36 times more than that. Then you get the mantras, right? The there's some powerful mantras. I use some Islamic mantras that I found where the progress was, my energy levels was going each level. I attained master level in 2019, and I've been trying to reach grandmaster level and doing the Kriya practice. And every 2 weeks, my power level on what was my original master level, that I can do terminal illness and critical care recovery telepathically from the time I reached master level, I've been increasing it one increment higher every 2 weeks. And I thought within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I'll attain grandmaster level. It's now end of 2025. So from 2019 to 2025 is 7 years, including 2019, if you count that year. And this is already end of 2025, right? 7 years, and I still haven't attained grandmaster level, but I'm very close, right? So when I added the mantra, right, I tried many mantras, right? Many mantras, and I found the right one. Boom, it started to boost it daily. Means what used to, what an increment every, means two increments every month, now 30 increments a month, right? So means 15x. So you take 36 million and multiply it by 15x. So 36 million times 10 is 360 billion, right? 36 no, 36 billion times 10 is 360 billion, plus another 18, uh, 54, right? 540 billion x, right? So 540 billion is half a trillion, right? X. Then I found the mudra, Dhyan mudra, doubles the speed of whatever you're doing, right? So you just add dhyan, you take the billion, I mean half a trillion, and make it 1 trillion times, right? So this, I had many decades to experiment with it. So this is theoretical speculation, calculations based on intrinsic experience that I'm physically experienced together with great masters, in these fields, right? So, and because there's so many years to cover, right? So of course you are doing, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do a trillion years, you know. So there is a counteracting effect, or a balancing effect, or a dampening effect by passage of time, and all these things can happen. That taking you backwards and forwards, and there can be negative energies that come and hinder your way and your progress and so forth. Right? There's so many factors to factor in, but don't you want to give the best possible chance to find a combination that's going to work for you, that's going to boost your meditation progress tremendously. So I created a 5-minute yoga and meditation program as an attempt towards it, that you're not just doing a 2-minute meditation. Instead of doing 20 minutes meditation, do a 2-minute meditation and add a 3-minute yoga, and get better result than doing 1 hour or 2 hours twice a day, or better result than doing 10 hours a day of meditation. That's my assertion, right? But definitely more than 20 minutes twice a day, or more than, you'll make more progress, in 5 minutes than in 20, by adding the 3 minutes. So isn't that a smart, tactical way, right, of handling this? Because time is important, right? So I'm not trying to bring all these protocols to make you to be sitting 12 hours in meditation. No, you got a life, right? I'm trying to make things easier, faster, quicker, more time efficient, results oriented. If you follow my 5-minute yoga and meditation program that you can download for free from our website, yogawellness786.com, you're going to feel some calmness, some result from the first day. And you practice it in your bed. Try it out. Right? So I hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.